At the recent Oscars, I learned a bloody lesson for the Sussexes, and we finally know why Harry and Meghan always are snubbed at the Oscars and in Hollywood. Let's explore this with me in this video right now. Very pleased and happy to see you again on the Kate Middleton and the Queen channel. So early today, I was reading a double-page spread about the Oscars. I was reading about the dresses, the parties, and it was wonderful. Not a word, not a murmur about Harry and Meghan Markle. Not even an invite to one of the many parties. Now, I had to look again when the Vanity Fair party was mentioned, and there was not one single word. Just absolutely nothing about Meghan Markle. And is that not her go-to for any pathetic excuse for an article about her? And then I couldn't help but think about the Oscar nominees. I mean, they really are the royalty of Hollywood. Both the Best Actress Emma Stone and the Best Actor Cillian Murphy. They've demonstrated a lot of humility and gratitude when they accepted their awards. Pure class. Actually, I gotta say, all the nominees really presented themselves as so talented, such creative artists who invested a lot of time and energy into their craft. And so, of course, they achieved recognition from their peers for their ability and their talent, as well as their really hard work. They were high achievers, and they were judged on merit. It had nothing to do with titles, that's for sure. Now, these people are the true elite of Hollywood. And now, let's shift our attention to the ex-royals, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Well, it looks like they didn't get very far in Hollywood with those titles. Now, at first, it looked like they were going to. It did open some doors for them, but once it became obvious that they didn't have any talent and they were not willing to work hard, those doors were quickly shut in their faces. The entertainment industry has become incredibly powerful, and relying on titles is not going to work. So does this mean that the bona fide royals aren't recognized for their hard work and talent? Well, they definitely are. Was the late queen not recognized all over the world as an exemplar in her role as a monarch? The senior royals are groomed and prepared for their roles, with expectations in their abilities to perform efficiently and effectively. Now, unfortunately, there are always going to be a bad apple or two, like Prince Andrew, who's not going to make it. But for people who will, well, Princess Anne pointed out to Meghan Markle that basically becoming a working royal is a job, it's a duty. It's not just a chance to become a celebrity. But Meghan's answer was basically that duty was universal. And so far, what have she and Harry accomplished on their own? They certainly didn't succeed as senior royals. I don't care what the reason was. That challenge was way too difficult for Meghan Markle. I mean, she was ready to harm herself. She just had to escape, and she had to take Harry with her. But they still had their titles to rely on, with plans on how to merge those to full advantage. But it seems like not only were they unable to fulfill their duties as senior royals, but they also didn't have the necessary talent to reach celebrity status in California. The only thing Meghan has really been able to accomplish was hopping on the bandwagon of hard work and dedication of people who really did the work for charities, and so she just wanted to take the credit. But as you can clearly see, Meghan is never going to be able to really work hard because of that ego she's got. And the thing is, this external pretense simply doesn't bring intrinsic value. I don't care how hard she tries to convince us that she's someone she's not. Harry, meanwhile, he can take some credit for the launch of Invictus Games, but again, he had a lot of help with that. And Meghan also now believes that she deserves equal credit for assuming some of the responsibility for its success, but she had nothing to do with it. It's basically just a fashion show for Meghan Markle to parade around her ridiculous, ill-fitting clothing that cost way too much money. It's hard to say where those two are going to stand with respect to the continuing success of the games. Many people are calling for them to no longer be associated. And overall, they have completely messed up their royal careers in America. Just ask the bosses of Netflix and Spotify. And now, apparently, they're wanting to come back to the toxic environment from which Meghan just had to escape. I mean, it's like the story about those old-fashioned salesmen. And no offense to people who are just doing their job, but you know how the story goes. Once the salesman gets his foot in the door, it's only a matter of time before he gets inside and makes a sale. and he's going to take the money, and oh, what a shame if the appliance breaks down. I would warn the royal family to be very careful about Harry and Meghan coming back. Otherwise, I'm afraid they're just going to be inviting trouble into their lives. There does seem to be this sudden push in the media for the two of them to return to their former duties. You can find these articles on Google. For example, in the News International, according to Angie Morgan, royals seek Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's support. And also, critics argue that the decision to let them go has left the institution vulnerable, particularly considering their star power and ability to connect with Commonwealth nations. I'm just speechless. I mean, this is ridiculous. I guess they're just thinking that if you say something often enough, it's going to be true. People are going to believe it. But for the public, whatever else the royal family thinks, there is no way back for those two. Personally, I don't believe that either Meghan nor Harry can understand or appreciate or even recognize their own behavior and the effect that it has on other people. I think they're just trapped in their own fantasy world where they are convinced that they're more intelligent than the rest of the world. Even after losing time and time again, they are still crazy enough to demand what they believe they're entitled to. By going on Oprah in front of the whole world, they made it their business to make it everybody else's business. I mean, otherwise, why did they want to go on Oprah to tell everybody their truth that was based on lies meant to just hurt the royals? They set themselves up for all this ridicule. If they had just laid low, if they had actually lived the private life they said they wanted, then they probably would have gotten a lot more respect than what they've actually achieved in their little scheming ways, which is next to nothing. They do not seem to have what it takes to achieve anything real. They're just not high achievers. They don't want to do the jobs that they seek. Meanwhile, working royals don't just represent the royal family, they represent the country too. Now, those commonalities are tragically missing by Harry and Meghan. They think they're going to be able to slither back into the royal family, but I don't believe that's going to happen because they cannot be trusted. Now, the evidence of the latter is clear for the whole world to see. Just look at all the occasions that they made threatening statements in regards to the firm. I am certain that British Parliament, MI5, MI6, all of those people are all over Harry and Meghan, and they're going to make sure that Harry and Meghan are kept far away from the monarchy, the citizens of the UK, and the Commonwealth too. Everybody's got enough to worry about without having to worry about those two unhinged losers being allowed to parachute themselves into the mix. Personally, I don't think anybody would want to be represented by a drug-addicted, disloyal, treasonous fool. The grifters are finished in Hollywood. No one wants anything to do with them. Their reputation is done. And, I don't care what they did once for Spotify and Netflix. I don't care about the books. Nobody wants to buy what they're selling. Harry and Meghan have burned their bridges in Britain, and they're not welcome back there either. Meghan still wants to be the star of the royal family. Well, she's not going to follow protocol. She's going to push in front of Harry whenever she can. She doesn't belong. They can never be trusted, and all the stories about them wanting to return, I believe, are just their PR people hard at work. Meghan, though, doesn't want to do any hard work, and I do believe that Harry feels regret when it comes to leaving, but now he's stuck with Meghan. Harry can never be trusted again, and when it comes to Meghan, well, obviously, she could never be trusted in the first place. And you, what do you think about this problem? Please continue to discuss this couple with us below in the comments. If you think my video is useful, remember to like and share it with anyone else who would enjoy it anytime you want. And please subscribe to Kate Middleton and The Queen channel to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for watching, goodbye, and I'll be back to see you in the next videos.